That's this 24, right? 24 bits per pixel, okay? And then you need about 24 frames per second, okay? At least, okay? Maybe 30, but let's say 24 frames, and you will come up with around 200 megabits per second. 200 megabits per second. All right? So that's outrageous. Okay? No communication link, except maybe the military dedicated links or something that can afford this type of bandwidth. Okay? So without compression, nothing's going to happen. Even with your CD music, it's already bad enough. Okay? 44,100 samples per second. Why? Did we talk about this sampling rate in admin course? Right, the Nyquist rate for audio, because our hearing range is from 20 to 20K, right? So double that is about 40, and then we give ourselves some room. I'm running out of battery already. And we give ourselves some room for engineering design. Okay, that's why we have 44,000, and then 16 bits per sample. Okay, 2 channels because the stereo, right? So the bit rate is about 1.4 megabits per second. So this maybe we can do with a very high-end ADSL line, right? Okay, but if you try to stream this, then nothing else will go through, right? Your internet will die, right? So now let's take a look at some bit rates that are actually being used in practice. Okay, for broadcasting channels, and these are US numbers. Okay, the links is around 20 megabits per second for one channel. Okay, so from DVD video, looks like we have 200, right? So 200 divided by 20 gives you about 10 channels. Without compression, we only have 10 channels to watch. Okay, for the entire satellite. So it's actually pretty low. For DVD, there's a range of bit rate, typically 10 from 20 megabits per second. So this is with compression already. Okay. Ethernet is around 10 or 100 megabits per second, right? That's local. Okay. Cable modem. This is mainly maybe US things. In Vietnam we have DSL, right? We don't have cable modem. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. So DSL gives you about, it depends on what quality you're getting, maybe 384 to 2048 kilobits per second. Dial-up modems, hopefully we'll eliminate this guy in the near future, right? 56 kilobits per second max. You cannot do better than this. And that's when you're really lucky, when the local telephone office is next door to your house, okay? Otherwise, you get maybe 3 kilobits per second. And with wireless cellular data, it can be as low as 9.6 kilobits per second. Okay? So obviously this is not 3G. 3G is the next wireless system, and certainly we can afford a lot better bit rate than this. But we have to wait a long time for 3G to be really popular. Okay? So compression is the same as efficient data representation. Okay? How do we store data in the most effective way? Okay? So data need to be accessed at different time or different locations. We have very limited storage space, very limited transmission bandwidth. Okay, so that's why we need compression. And better compression will lead to better communication capability for sure, because we can support lower bit rate. Okay. Now, an example for since you haven't seen DVR or personal video recorder before, the way it works is it has this. It's just basically like a computer. It has a hard drive that copy down the bit stream. Okay, and based on the quality that you pick, okay, So the best quality give you about 7.7 megabits per second, okay? And the basic quality or the worst quality give you about 2.2, okay? And obviously you can observe right here that everything depends on the quality of the signal. That's the trade-off between signal versus bandwidth versus storage space, okay? If you pick the best quality, you're gonna pay for it, okay? You can only store 31 hours, 11 minutes of, roughly, of video. Okay? But if you pick basic quality, you're gonna bump that up by a factor of 3 maybe. So you're gonna get maybe 108 hours. Okay? Now that's a tremendous amount of time. You can, that means we can record all of the World Cup, for example, in that small little, right? We have about 64 matches, and each match gives you about 2 hours, right? So roughly, okay, maybe throw away Iran and so you can basically you can basically store the entire World Cup on that small little device. Okay, that's why it's very popular nowadays in the U.S., where people are working every day. They come home, everything is well taken care of. Okay, everything's got that you care about get recorded, and all you have to do is rewatch things on your hard drive. Okay. Now, so when we talk about digital signal, when we talk about signal processing, there are 4 classes of signals that you will encounter. Okay. So, and I categorize them by this table. So you have the continuous amplitude. Amplitude means the value of the signals, okay, on the x-axis, on the vertical axis, and the time or space is based on the horizontal axis. Okay. Now, time means things like audio and speech. Okay. Everything is a function of time, and space means images and video, right? The index live in the on a space, okay? So now, so you have 4 classes, maybe continuous amplitude, continuous time, that will be labeled as x of t, like this, okay? So this is mostly where we spend our time doing traditional signal processing, okay? This is analog, or analog signal processing. In this course, we're mainly interested in this type of signal here, where you have discrete amplitude, okay? See, the red dots can only be either this value, or this value, or this value, or this value, or this value. It is not allowed to pick somewhere in between, okay? That's the difference between this and that, okay? So in Edmund's course, when he writes x of n, he usually meant, okay, that's what he meant, okay? The index might be discrete, but the value of x can be pretty much anything. You can put pi there, right? But you cannot put pi here, okay? Because you don't have the infinite precision to represent pi. You can only pick maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or if you want to enhance the resolution, then this is 0.5, 1, 1.52, so on and so forth. Okay? So everything in practice, okay, is here, roughly. Okay, this is where your CD, your DVD, your cell phone, your digital camera, your digital camcorder, your television, even your inkjet printers, they all work this way. Okay? So that's going to be the concentrations of the course. So that's called digital signal processing. So when I say digital signals, this is what I mean. Okay? Discrete involve index as well as value.